The weather's fine for now, JD, but I don't know about that.
It's gorgeous outside is what it
really
is.
Nice.
That's, you know, when I woke up and I was like, well, it's one of those, like, if I could just have a side note here, it's a Fox 26 Storm Alert day, right?
And it seems
it gets complicated.
counterintuitive.
I know, it gets complicated. It's a Fox 26 Storm Alert night. Is what we're looking at.
See, we might have painted ourselves into a corner with that one.
I mean, it's okay, but it's just like one of those crazy things where it's like, it's a great looking day out there. I mean, it's June. It's good. It's hot. It's humid, but
getting kind of breezy out there.
Yeah, totally.
So, have you ever left your like your phone? It's writing down everything that I'm saying right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What if I say something? Does it say what I say?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's not good.
The phones are always listening.
We
know that, right?
Listening.
We know
It's
they're
still
always
listening.
listening.
I'm gonna shut it off.
Well, you've been trying to take care of business. We got live shots that we're trying to coordinate.
Yep, they're coming up very
with
shortly.
Fox Weather, and then there are other. Our schedules have had to change because of this type of weather. You've been trying to manage that this morning, and then we're trying to figure out who can see us right now live.
We're not sure. We know that we're on Fox. Well, we hope that we're on Fox Local, but there's a lot of other stuff going on. And then like this is one of those days. So like. And this is not belly aching or anything. I mean, we like what we do, but it's like, so today, like, you know, JD's got to do this, plan for the noon show, do afternoon, you know,
I
updates.
have a Zoom I need to do as well. I got scheduled, yeah.
Then be on the 5 and 6 p.m.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? It's like you're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And then I have to figure out, you know, Ramisha is probably going to have to stay late.
Right.
Almost assuredly we'll have to stay late tonight. But then we don't know. So I got to go to sleep and not know, is it going to be flooding at 1 a.m. or, you know, what time do I have to wake up and things like that. So that's there's
little tricks here. And I also have an HEB order, curbside, that I put in. So I got a lot of other life stuff going on
first
too.
Time, okay, yesterday, first time, because my girls don't, They have a car, they share a car, but they haven't actually gone like grocery shopping ever.
Right.
They go buy themselves things at Target.
But you mean for the family.
You're right.
Yeah.
So yesterday, my wife called in a curbside HEB order.
Yep, I love it.
And they went and pulled up and somehow managed to pop the hatchback open, and the lady put the stuff in there.
Well, my son is going to pick up the curbside today
for
us, so we're doling out. We have to, because we've got all these other moving parts.
Too much going on.
Oh, it's good. It's a good life.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
So let's talk about this. So, okay, everybody hates this name. They really do. Potential Tropical Cyclone 1. I mean, to me, it's kind of catchy, but people get thrown by the word cyclone.
Sure.
I had a comment on my Facebook page, at least one, maybe two. It's like, what is this? What's a cyclone?
Right.
You guys never talk about cyclones.
Yep.
You know, but a cyclone is just, it's an area of low pressure. There's cyclones all over the place all the time. We just don't usually call them cyclones. But that's what it is. So the Hurricane Center came up with this. It's been a few years now.
Couple years. It's
years.
not that old.
Relatively new.
Yeah.
Where it used to be that they would have an area of investigation and they would have to wait until it got upgraded to a tropical storm before they could start issuing forecasts and cones and the spaghetti plots and all that stuff that we're so used to seeing now. But now they do it when they're almost positive it's going to get upgraded.
Well, and you hear it all the time about government and red tape and all this kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, and I can appreciate this, that they're very structured. They have strict rules, and you can't issue a cone for a tropical system unless it's a depression. That was the old rule. If it didn't meet all of the definitions of a depression, no matter how bad you think it might get or how bad, they could not issue that forecast cone.
You're on your own.
They couldn't do it because that would be against the rules. So then to give themselves a little bit of a gray area, they created the potential tropical cyclone.
We do. If we could take,
if
we could pull up Max 3 right now, Director Bradley, the hurricane hunters, of which JD is a veteran, have been crisscrossing the system this morning. They've been on a long flight. At the very end there, see what, I left the text too small, but it pops up the highest wind measurement. What does it say, like 46? I can't see that.
44.
44? See, oh, wait a minute, I have my glasses right here. Let me see if I put my glasses on if I can see it. Seriously, this is eye test right here. Yeah, I can see it. So I should have my glasses on. So they've been sort of taking a bit of an odd, meandering course, haven't they? You know, they didn't do their typical crisscross on this path. I don't know if they wanted to.
I don't think they have a center yet. So I think they're looking for the lowest pressure.
Yeah, they're looking for the lowest pressure. They're also, I thought maybe they wanted to like test the conditions, maybe like ahead of it or something, you know, get some measurements.
There's been a lot of well, especially for us, like we're interested. What's happening north of that center of that low, that broad area of low pressure? So but I would have thought they would have taken another pass in there, or either gone further south. I guess maybe whatever they've got is a little further north than I was sort of picturing it.
When I started seeing them divert from where I thought they were going to go, I started to get worried, like, oh no, they're not finding like another center reforming somewhere, because sometimes that can happen. The next graphic here is going to be their 10 a.m. advisory.
Right, and again, we couldn't have this cone right now. We couldn't show this if, in fact, they didn't create this potential tropical cyclone product that they now have, the PTC. And just like a depression, it goes with a number. So this is 1. So if they've got another one, if we get another one later, it'll be 2, and it'll follow kind of that number system, just like the depressions follow it as well. But we're less than 1,000 millibars now in the pressure.
It's dropped a little bit.
I haven't looked at these 10 a.m. numbers yet since I was driving into
They
work.
They didn't move the forecast track really at all either. And I did have the spaghetti plot up. I think I have that in the rundown somewhere. But there's pretty lockstep model, you know, of all the major models that are showing it moving there into Mexico.
So now I'm just looking at this again. I haven't looked at the 10 a.m. yet, so this is good to be looking at it before I have to talk about it. If this is on course, then at 7 o'clock tonight, we'll have Alberto, right?
That's what it looks like.
That's what we're saying right now. It looks like from the Hurricane Center that by 7 o'clock tonight, we'll have Alberto, because it will have reached 40-mile-an-hour winds with
a closed circulation, I guess. Yeah. Hey, coming up after this break, guys, we are going to be visiting with a great guy who is in a great state on a great island.
All of those things.
All of those things. And so I don't want to give too much away. Stick around in just a couple of minutes. We'll visit with him.
Fox 26 is Fox 26 YouTube page. Like and subscribe today.
A little change over time, and the weather is fine.
I need to correct myself. A moment ago, I said we were visiting with a great guy in a great state on a great island. But we have two, actually.
Two guys.
Two great guys from two great states, technically both on islands right now.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that.
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
totally.
One of them South Padre and the other Manhattan. So we have Craig Herrera, who's down in deep South Texas, and we also have Zach Green, who's joining us from sunny and hot New York City. So JD, we're going to visit with Zach here in just a moment, but we want to start out with our friend Craig.
Yeah, Zach, stay cool, Zach. We'll come to you here in a second. Get a fan or something. We'll check in with you. We get to start with Craig, though. And I'm excited. Craig, I'm excited because the last time that we saw each other, we were in South Padre Island because we were both at the National Tropical Weather Conference. So, Craig, are you back at the same hotel in South Padre?
I'm telling you what, I was thinking about you yesterday when we flew in. I'm actually not. I'm over on the island, but pretty close. And I was thinking about you because I was thinking about, we were talking about the tropics back then and getting ready for all of this. And then soon it all just kind of picked up, right? And here we are. Hey, take a look behind me. I just want to show you what it looks like behind me because we've got the sets that keep coming in one after the other here in Padre Island. We're still in the island, or the city rather, of Corpus Christi, right on the island side of it. But look at the sets that keep coming in one after the other. And I'll tell you what, I've talked to a lot of people who are here vacationing, a lot of them from San Antonio, some from Houston, and they're taking in a couple of hours, getting in a little bit of beach time. But notice a lot of them are not going far out. The message has been, hey, you know what? These swells are dangerous. They're consistent. They're roaring. So they've set up their tents just on the beach. They're going in, getting a little bit wet because it is hot and humid, unlike the heat that Zach has been dealing with, same story, but at least we've got a little bit of water to contend with here. And off in the distance, the dark clouds, we have had a lot of sunshine early today. It was a sunny, beautiful day. We came out at 5 o'clock this morning and it was dark. It was a little stormy. Now we're dealing with some of these clouds out here, and you guys have been talking about this storm, potential tropical cyclone 1, right? And now the National Hurricane Center says, hey, we can issue these warnings, and we've got tropical storm warnings rather here for some of those winds, and we could see that name perhaps as early as tomorrow. But yeah, it's interesting because it was almost a slow start to the season. First name storm pretty much right on time, but relatively speaking, it was a little quiet for a bit. And now we've got a couple of areas to watch, and this being one of them. I think tomorrow, the rain being the big story here, perhaps some storm surge. And I also think that a lot of people are saying, hey, you know what? Let's get some things done today, hunker down for tomorrow, let this thing pass. And it's going to help out with the rainfall totals. We have deficits down here. The 5 to 10 inches of rain, perhaps in the forecast, is going to wipe that out. A lot of people have been having some water restrictions out here. The reservoirs are low, 20 to 33% of capacity. So we need this moisture, but of course it's all going to come through in a short amount of time. This thing does move through relatively quickly. It doesn't sit here and spin, which is a good news for us, right? At least we won't be dealing with something that's going to be consistent for a couple of days here.
Let us get a little clarification because we're not, somebody in Wyoming who's not as concerned with where you are. We're just here to protect. We're here in Houston. We want to know. So you're closer to Corpus Christi than you are South Padre Island. Is that
exactly? Yeah, we're right on the island itself, but you know how Corpus Christi kind of goes across the bridge, and you got a portion of the city that goes onto the island. We're right on the island side.
Yeah, so it's like it's Padre Island.
Yeah, you're on Padre Island. Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
It's a
Padre Island. Yes.
It's a very, very long barrier.
Yeah. It's a huge barrier line. So we just want to kind of get an idea.
Very long.
Yeah,
kind of north of where we were for the convention. North of where we were.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, we got.
So there are a lot of folks behind you, kind of taking in the sights, and I guess that's okay. There's some kids out there too. I notice a couple of boogie boards, I think, out there as well. But, I'm sure that once they start getting, some bands coming through, I imagine that they're going to skedaddle pretty quickly.
I think so, too, especially once you start to see some of these bands are producing perhaps some lightning off in the distance. Remember, tornadoes are always part of these storms, as we talked about that perhaps tomorrow. So I think that most of these people are just getting as much as they can in before everything turns around. And some of the people I talked to today from San Antonio, they said, okay, a couple of hours, have the barbecue, get some water time in and then pack up and head home before the rain starts to come down. They don't want to be in the rain with windshield wipers going like this, trying to make it through this storm. That's just not safe, and they know they need to be home and just in a good spot.
Okay, Craig, so what's your schedule? You're here, you've been on most of the morning, right? So you're going to take a break here in the afternoon, but then are you back on Fox weather coverage tomorrow, or are you also heading out of town with the rest of them?
No, exactly. I'll be here all day tomorrow. Well, tomorrow morning, beginning at 5 a.m. Eastern time. We'll take it right through about 12 p.m. Eastern time, and then we'll be out here again Thursday from 6 a.m. Eastern time to 12 p.m. Eastern time. So we've got a couple of days of this where we're going to sit this out, bring it to you, show you what's going on, so that you don't have to go out in the elements yourself.
Awesome. All right. Well, stay safe. Try to enjoy your visit briefly, and hopefully it won't get too bad, but it definitely does look very rainy. Craig Herrera joining us from Padre Island.
That's what we'll call it.
There near Corpus Christi.
There you go.
All right. Hey, thanks for taking the time, Craig. I know you're real busy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Now,
take care. Good to see you guys. Take care.
Nice to see you too. Okay, so we're going to go from polar opposites.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to be real honest here. I've been, my feed is social, and I look on and I see all the national, not all of it, but I've been like, hey, we got Alberto in the Gulf of Mexico any minute now, and everybody wants to talk about the heat.
New York City.
Yeah, I'm hearing about Pittsburgh high temperatures, and I'm kind of like, okay, I get it. But let's talk about us for a little bit, but we're going to pause our Houston coverage to talk about that heat now. So we're going to get up to Zach Green. Zach, tell us what's happening with the rest of the world right now. For those of us who aren't on the Gulf Coast, it's going to be some record heat, it sounds like.
It is, yeah. But honestly, let's bring it a little closer to home for you guys, because Houston's still feeling that same heat. It's kind of rivaling what we have here in Manhattan. I'm standing right outside of the Fox studios, just outside of Times Square, in fact, and we have a heat index of 101. Houston, it is matching that exactly. Now, where our own Craig Herrera is standing, he's beating us by about 2 degrees. He's a cooler 2 degrees. 99 is what he's feeling like, but I hope he's getting a bit of a breeze, because we've got none here on this heat island that is Manhattan. And this heat dome that we keep hearing about is exactly that, encompassing a wide range of locations, all the way from Chicago, who had a high of 97 yesterday afternoon. They're going to record territory once again today. Over the next few afternoons, we could be talking over 100 separate locations that deal with daily high records being broken. This is a heat that we haven't seen in decades, from the mid-Atlantic up to New England, including over in Maine, where they may have their first heat excessive heat warning from the National Weather Service ever on record. So this is a dangerous style of heat. Folks are thinking, it's summertime. This is the conversation we typically have at this point in the season. Not exactly. We are way ahead of schedule. Late July, early August maybe, but by this point in June, we should relatively be a little bit cooler. So we're certainly feeling that concern. The governor of New York had already put the National Guard active over the course of the next few days. 500 cooling centers in New York City alone. That's not even statewide. That's just here in the boroughs. And actually, take a look behind me. We've got somebody sitting on a piano outside of the studio. We've seen a few people doing their best to stay cool with this public piano. I give them all about 30 seconds. Every time somebody sits down, they want to get moving. And honestly, the soundtrack should maybe be Foreigner, Cold as Ice, or Colder Weather by Zach Brown Band. I think we got a little Elton John going on behind us, fellas. I'm not sure that's keeping us cool. Benny and the Jets, you hear it, right?
I was going to ask you, Zach, how people, well, we're running out of time, but I was wondering if anybody was dressed really peculiarly up there, because, it's New York City, you're always going to get, somebody, some odd person maybe walking around in a bikini or something.
You got to do what you got to do to stay, cool in this heat. I get it.
I mean, this gentleman's wearing jeans, and he's sitting in the direct sun playing the piano. I can only applaud him. We saw somebody earlier wearing all black, and that was about 15 seconds worth, and then he was running into the shade. So There he goes. There it is, 30 seconds. So that's the end of that, folks.
All right. Hey, and from both of us, Zach, welcome to the Fox family, and it's great to see you up there on Fox Weather. It's our first time visiting with you, but we look forward to more in the future.
I appreciate you both so much.
Sure.
I hope you guys stay cool out in Houston.
All right, thanks.
Same to you, sir.
All right, so that was nice. We got to talk with two of our colleagues from Fox Weather, so Fox Weather, it's a little confusing.
It can be a little bit.
Let me tell you how confusing it is. It's confusing to people here.
Right.
Because, so and not to throw anybody under the bus. I mean, look, I get confused too. But so we have our Fox 26 weather app.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I use the Fox 26 weather app. However, we ran a little promo, like a little commercial this morning for the Fox weather app.
Oh, that's not ours.
Which is also a great app. In fact,
fantastic.
I have both of them on my phone.
Totally.
But I think even the people who work in the building can get a little confused as to which app is which.
Well, and then what about the Fox 26 News app?
Then we have the Fox 26 News app. We have, yes. So I think the bottom line is we have a variety of sources that you can check in with. But so KRIV down there near Corpus Christi, they're actually under a tropical storm warning.
Right.
Folks out there still enjoying the sights. And everything.
Totally.
But, you know, tonight it's going to go downhill pretty fast.
Well, the timing is, I think, going to be pretty similar to what we were talking about in the fact that probably at 10 o'clock-ish tonight is when things are going to start ramping up around here. Mm-hmm. And that discussion about, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to come in at midnight or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock? I mean, because
I don't know.
You don't want to be out in the most dangerous stuff.
That's
either.
right.
So again,
I know.
It's sort of those decisions about, you know, as this really begins to ramp up. That's obviously what's also happening with the folks down in Corpus Christi.
And Craig said
trying to get it done.
The family, I don't know if they've finished their barbecue yet.
Right,
they got to hightail it back to San Antonio, and then the rain might follow them too.
Totally.
Back to San Antonio. So, if you're, so I was mentioned yesterday. You know, we'd like to make the show like slightly more interactive. Yep. You know, so I did post. I attempted to, and I'm not, you know, I'm not necessarily an old man, but I seem to sometimes I try to do things on social media and they don't turn out right or whatever. But I did post on my Facebook page, or at least I attempted to. I believe they call it pin. Will you pin a post?
Of course.
To the top of your.
I have trouble unpinning, but once I pin, it's there.
Same. So I did pin this to the top, you know, saying, hey, do you know we have a daily weather show, right? And I did have this comment at least twice. So from Bernice and from Susan, who are not watching us right now because they said they have a Samsung TV and they can't figure out how to get Fox Local, but I think that we do have it now.
Yeah, I got the email that said Samsung is a part of the family
That's
now.
what it said. So I'm gonna.
Maybe you need to refresh something there, because it just, I mean, literally like a week ago, we got at the most, we got the email that we're in with Samsung now. So yeah, check that out if you need to refresh something or update something.
I would
say, then search.
Unplug it and plug it back in.
Fox Local. Search. Yeah, again, you
That's
remember
what I
you're
would
looking
say.
for Fox Local.
Yeah.
And then you set it to Houston.
Mm-hmm. And that's right. Then you'll be able to watch us. All right, we'll have another look at today's forecast and look ahead to what's coming our way for the rest of the week coming up right after this.
Fox 26 is The Fox 26 YouTube page. Like and subscribe today.
All right, glad you're still here with us with Forecasting with Friends. A quick review here of the 10 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center on potential tropical cyclone 1. Headed straight into Mexico. Should this forecast at least Alberto by 7 p.m. this evening. So we'll see how that goes. I thought we were going to wake up to Alberto, to be perfectly honest, but looks like we got to get that closed circulation just a little bit more organized, especially with our hurricane hunters that just left the system. They're probably going to be able to find a little bit more data, and maybe we'll hold steady on that 7 o'clock, or maybe we get to hold off until tomorrow morning. Here locally in Houston, I think the breezy conditions are what you're noticing. We're about that 15 to 20 mile an hour sustained winds during the day today. We're seeing these gusts that are up in the 25, 26, even 30 mile an hour gusts in the Hobby Airport area. So that's what we're going to continue to see. The closer you are to the coast, the more impacts you're going to see in general. This can be a little bit confusing because this red shading here actually is a tropical storm warning, but it's not inland at all. It's just the waters off of the coast because of those higher wind expectation. The green shading here is that coastal advisory, flooding advisory that's there, and that is the coastal flood warning, not an advisory, but a warning. Coastal flood warning, those are those very low-lying areas that when you increase the tides and the surf, you end up with some water on the roadways a little bit. So the tropical storm warning, when it impacts more of the land, that's south of Matagorda Bay, stretches all the way down to Brownsville. That's where we'll continue to see some of those problems. Here's the quick look at that rainfall estimates, which is going to be, I think, the biggest concern for the city of Houston is if this high numbers slips a little bit further to the north, that's going to have more impacts overall. Again, tonight, after 10 o'clock or so, getting into midnight, that's when we're really expecting that to crank up. But in the meantime, though, we'll have a mix of some clouds and some sun. I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of rain during the day today, but you'll be dealing with the heat if you're not dealing with some of those rain and those storms. Here's the spaghetti plot, or those computer models, again, taking it right into the coast. We're looking for the Weather Prediction Center to be concerned with rainfall that reaches all the way in to San Antonio. We'll have more coming up at Fox 26 News at noon.